Back Black, is to develop the capacity to do similar things, but on behalf of black people. So we will see ourselves as raising money in local communities, primarily to support local initiatives to support and benefit black people, but also to contribute towards the support of our brothers and sisters elsewhere. For example, right now, our brothers and sisters in Haiti are suffering tremendously with food shortages, artificial food shortages, I might add. And there's very little that we in the United States seem to be doing about that, although some of us are trying to encourage an initiative to help solve that problem. Well, if we had this organization already, and it was already established, and we had members all around the country, as we intend to have, then we would be in a position to do more than just have our hearts go out to our brothers and sisters in Haiti. We'd be able to send some resources down there, some food and some money, to help these people through this crisis that they're suffering through at this point in time. We would also be able to lend our support to our brothers and sisters in various African countries who clearly could use some help based on some of the artificial difficulties that are imposed on them by forces, imperialistic kind of forces from without that country. So we need to have an organized effort to implement programs that themselves have the capacity to address successfully and effectively the needs and concerns of people of African descent. That is what the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition intends to do. And I might point out that we will have our first annual convention of the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition on October 18th of this year. We're not yet sure of the location, but we do know the date, because the date of our annual convention is always the weekend closest to the anniversary of the Million Man March, because one of the main emphases of the movement to bring back black and the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition is to bring back and revive and restore the spirit of the Million Man March. And you will remember when we were there on that Saturday, that glorious Saturday, October 16, 1995, the resounding echo of 2.5 million black men standing together shoulder to shoulder was, "Long live the spirit of the Million Man March." And to the extent that we have allowed it to subside, it's still alive. And the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition is determined to revive it and restore it to the resounding capacity and status that it was on that glorious day. Find out more information about the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition and the movement to bring back black would be to visit our website. Our website is www.bringbackblack.org, spelled like one word. Again, it's www.bringbackblack.org. Now that's to find out more information about the organization. You'll also discover there the names and some contact information on some of the other principals who are involved with the organization, such as my colleague and co-convener, Jim Klingman, who is up in Cincinnati, Brother Sayum Lewis, who is in Atlanta, Brother Kojo Darden up in Detroit, and so on and so forth around the country. We're also closely associated with Brother Delani Amon and Harambe Radio, Brother Kidi Obiawadu, and Lib Radio out of California. So we are also tied to them. Sister Yolanda Lattimore with Dryer Buzz Internet Radio down in Atlanta, who is also now our new chairperson for our communications task force, a person who you will be working very closely with as we move forward from this date. Now that's organizational contact. If people want to get in contact with me directly or personally, the best way to reach me is through my email address, which is Amefika D. In other words, my first name, Amefika D, which is my middle initial, at bellsouth.net. Amefika D at bellsouth.net. www.area-code561.net. And also I can be reached by telephone. My home and office phone number is area code 561-689-1536. I repeat, area code 561-689-1536. But if I'm not at home or in my office at the time one calls, I usually have my cell phone with me. And that phone number is area code 561-801-6082. Again, I repeat, area code 561-801-6082. By one or another of those means, one is certainly going to be able to contact the Paramount Chieftaincy and explain the history and where that came from, and gave some illustrations of who some of the people have been who have, for all effective intents and purposes, held that title or that position. Now, what we're talking about with the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition is to formalize that position. In other words, there is no official position called Paramount Chief. We're saying that for all effective intents and purposes, there are people who have, and to this day, for all effective intents and purposes, have held or do hold that title or that position. And as I pointed out, for example, the current claimant to that would be Reverend Al Sharpton, you see, and I don't think anyone can dispute that at this point in time. Now, what we're saying also is that for all effective intents and purposes, all other things being equal, whoever is viewed as being the paramount chief, the HNIC, is also the president of Black America. And we're saying that what we need to do then is make that official, make that formal. Let's create this position of President of Black America, which we can envision in the future Black men and women competing for in much the same way as we're accustomed to seeing people compete for the president of white America. And let there be no mistake about it while I'm at it, that what Brother Barack Obama is competing for is the Democratic Party's nomination to become president of white America. Doesn't matter that he is partially black, doesn't matter what he and anyone else says about the president of America being the president of all Americans. The fact of the matter is, America is viewed by these people as being a white country. Black folks simply happen to be here through something that some white folks did some years ago, which they haven't figured out a way yet to undo. So we're still here. But whoever is president of America is president of white America. And the rest of us have to accept that, tolerate it, put up with it, learn to live with it. But by no means is the president of America my president or yours. Right. He's the president of white America. Right. What we're saying is that since we view black people as a nation within a nation of people within this other nation, this bigger nation, we need to have our own president of Black America. Just as we're having our own organization, the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition, the Nationalist Black Leadership Coalition will function as a quasi-government organization in much the same way as the American Jewish Council functions as a quasi-government association. Now, we're not saying that we're the government of the whole country. Obviously, we're not. They have their government, and we're subordinate to it. But we can still have our own organizational structure which serves the same purpose for our nation within a nation as that other governmental structure serves for those other people who control this nation as we